Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is Spec Corvette Series Racing coming to you live from Chuckwalla Valley Raceway out here in California. My name is Chris Graham, and I am joined in the booth, sort of. I'm joined in pit lane by Mr. John Wynn. John, you have a fantastic look at these race cars. A great show last week at Sebring. I think we're going to see just as much great action here today as well.
We're gearing up for an awesome race right now. Some of the cars are getting out on grid. We've got Donnie York today. Today, he puts it on grid on pole. That's the fastest driver in second event in qualifying. Right next to him, we've got David Holmes going out. They're close friends, been racing for years together. And we're going to go over here down to P3 position with Evan Gold. Let me make my way around here. I got to get off grid before I get so you can see the number 37 of Evan Gold and, right there in the silver car. And at the end here, we've got Patrick Howell, one of his best qualifying that he's had so far this year in P4 position. And he's already up for this start. He's going out, checking out how the flagger is going to wave it. We're going to do a rolling start. And he's going to be right next to John Simon here. And one of our newest racers, James Alasky, driving a 99 C5 with an LS6 upgraded engine, track spec cage, and track spec wheels. And we've got John Simon here right next to him, being a Day also out there running a nice lap time. Brand new to Spec Corvette also is Robert Carroll, not to be confused with Josh Carroll, the great Josh Carroll. And there's Daniel Sepulveda starting in last position. Got to get reshuffled in there because of a compliance issue. So these guys are heading out there right now. I'm going to send it right back over to you. I'm going to go get in position so we can get the start on film.
All right, John, thank you very much. We appreciate it. So we are going, well, let's see here. First, let's make sure we got all the cameras and all the cars turned up for you here on board with Patrick Howell here to kick things off. One thing John didn't mention is just how tight this grid is at the front of the field. Less than 0.3 of a second separating Donnie York from David Holmes in the qualifying session. Evan Gold and Patrick Howell, less than 0.6 of a second separating those cars. There is we're going to kind of have packs and groups of cars here going on today. As you see Patrick Howell kind of giving the wave, the Hawaiian salute there to the flaggers as you come past. That's actually an important thing that the drivers do with the corner workers on this pace lap where they're coming out onto the grid. It's basically an acknowledgement. I see you. I can tell what's, where the flag is at your position. He'll kind of give the wave out the window here to the flag position on the left. It's just one of those things that it gives the corner workers the information to say, okay, all the drivers have seen us. They know where we are. They know where they should be looking. Because when you're ripping around this place at, 100+ miles an hour, it's really, really important that you're able to identify if there's an incident ahead and you get that information from those corner workers. As the field is starting to pack up, and we'll give you the starting lineup here. Donnie York, David Holmes on row number 1. Evan Gold, Patrick Howell on row 2. Row number 3 for tonight's race will be Clint Pichon and James Alasky. And the fourth and final row of the grid, John Simon and Robert Carroll. Alasky, one of the newer drivers to the series, raced Spec 944s prior to jumping in the Spec Corvette series. As we have the field gridded up here, and Patrick Howell is going to give us an absolutely spectacular view here of the front of the field. Let's very quickly look through the rest of them here. Go on board with John Simon. You can see a lot of these, the whole field here, starting to get packed up. Also, go on board with Daniel Sepulveda. But we're going to get right back up here to the front of the field as this one is going to be an absolutely spectacular show here. As we say, coming to you from Chuckwalla Valley Raceway. "30 minutes of racing action here. Front of the field has taken the green flag. The Spec Corvettes will go off as their own separate wave in the start here, but the clock is running now. 30 minutes, the race distance. As soon as we see everybody come across the line, we'll be able to get the timing and scoring ticker for you here. Oh, man, they are tight. Door to door coming down for the start. Oh, man, they almost making contact. Green flag goes in the air. We're underway. Oh, wow. Big drop-off there for your outside pole sitter. He's going to fall back. If you check the rear view in the upper right-hand corner, Donnie York falling back to the 4th position very early on the start here. Fantastic jump by David Holmes. Evan Gold, Patrick Howe jumping up positions here. So on lap number 1, it's going to be Holmes followed by Howe. Then Evan Gold at Donnie York in position number 4. And there are 41 cars out on this racing surface right now. A lot of elevation changes. We're basically out here in the desert. A lot of loose sand, a lot of gravel being kicked up onto the speedway. One car dips a wheel off, and it could be a ways ahead of you. It could be 40, 50 seconds up the road. It's still going to leave a bunch of dust on the road that you have to drive through. Not an easy thing to do, especially through the second set of chicanes here. Trying to get downhill, get the car planted. It doesn't want to turn a lot. Just about getting to 1 lap in the books here for the Spec Corvettes. Off that big, long, penultimate corner. It's a quick snap back to the left. But out over the start-finish line, it's going to be David Holmes, Patrick Howe, Donnie York, James Alaski, Clint Pichon, Daniel Sepulveda, and Evan Gold. Early issues here as Robert Carroll, John Simon have both come across. And Evan Gold back to last in the class. Not sure what the issue was there for Evan Gold, but that is a big drop. We're just working on getting the graphics squared up so you can see where everybody is in the field. All right, there you go. Now we got the timing tower up there for you. You'll see David Holmes. He's listed as position number 24. First in Spec Corvette classes, they come down over the start-finish line to complete lap number 2. Pick up the look here from John Wynn on the start-finish straight here, just at the entrance to pit road. And you can see the cars already mixing in the classes. Yep, I got you, John.
Quick update. Looks like there's a little bit of contact with John Simon and possibly, I think Evan Gold, which is called. He's going to lose a couple positions there. Right now, Patrick Howe is just running his best race he's ever run. He's only a couple tenths of car lengths off of David Holmes, one of our fastest drivers here this weekend. I'm super stoked for Patrick Howell right now. He's been waiting for this moment to get up there, and he's driving a hell of a race right now. He's got Donnie York on his tail. Donnie had a missed shift on the start, so he missed the shift on the start, dropped a couple positions, and now he's in third place. And we've got David Holmes out front, Patrick Howell, Donnie York, and I believe James Alaska right behind him. So that's the update from the floor here. It looks like that's what happened. So a little bit of a messy first lap, but it looks like the guys have sorted it out.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten things back under control, as seeing Patrick Howell make a little bit of a dip offline. Able to get the car back up onto the racing surface, but that will pick up a little bit of gravel, especially those left side tires that got up over the curb. They will be slick trying to rejoin. And John, I would imagine, if you're able to hear us out there anyway, that's got to be something really tricky for these guys, because it's a Spec Nankang tire. It's a street tire, street legal tire for these cars. It's not a true racing slick.
Yeah, they have to manage these tires. You got a copy on me, Chris?
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, they got to manage the tires because, again, this is a 200 tread wear tire, which does excellent for what it is. But again, it's not a true racing tire. And looks like Robert Carroll is stuck in traffic. My goodness.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on there. Let's see. Let's pick up. We have a look here with Dan Sepulveda. We can take a look at here. Sepulveda running in 6th position, trying to chase down Clint Pichon. He's got John Simon and Evan Gold just back behind. Interesting, John, to get your perspective. Oh, wow. Hold on to it. Wow. Big shot by the 09 of Pichon coming around Sepulveda. But what did you see on the start? Because I saw two cars almost touching, and it looked like the car of Evan Gold just did not want to go on that initial start of the race.
Yeah, so what I saw on the start was that Donnie York in the red car, pole sitter, I think he missed a shift. So him missing a shift, Evan Gold was right behind him. He had to make an invasive move and got around him. So then he got out front. As they got around turn 4 or 5, I think there was contact between John Simon and Evan Gold, which puts them in the back a little bit, and I think that's what's happening right now. But they're sorting it out.
Track. Big off track for Daniel Sepulveda. Oh my goodness, that car is beached, waiting for the smoke to clear. He's right side up, but that was a huge off track for Sepulveda.
Donnie York puts the move on Patrick Howell in the last turn here coming around. So Donnie York takes up P2 right now.
Oh my goodness, we were on board with Daniel Sepulveda for a wild off track. Looked like the back end of the car just started to break loose, and when it goes around on these slick racetracks, there's not much you can do. And how about it? Sepulveda's back on the racetrack and at speed. That is fantastic. Man alive. Pucker factor Zulu for Daniel Sepulveda there. That is for sure. But going back to the onboard with Patrick Howell, he's trying to catch the 63 of Donnie York.
Looks like Sepulveda's coming in.
Let's take the onboard here with Daniel Sepulveda. There you had the look from John Wynn there at the entrance to pit lane. Daniel Sepulveda, unfortunately, pulling that car back into the garage area. So we're back on board with Patrick Howell, as Donnie York has well cleared. Oh, we've got another car way off the racing surface. Little Luke Bryan kicking the dust up, but Patrick Howell now running third, and he's got what looks to be a Porsche that once passed quickly. He'll make that move up on the left-hand side. But again, that's not about, all you're fighting here is the Spec Corvette class itself. Right now, it's going to be David Holmes holding a 4-second lead over Donnie York. But York, last time by, only a half second ahead of Patrick Howe. Another 8.6 seconds back to James Alasky. Clint Pichon rounding out in the top 5. And we're not even to the halfway point of this one yet either. 6 laps in the books for the class leaders, overall leaders. Man alive, these guys are taking 35-mile-an-hour corners in your residential streets at about 70, 75 miles an hour out here. Got to thank everybody that's tuned in here on YouTube. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here on a Saturday afternoon. Race number 2 of the weekend will be live tomorrow afternoon, 6:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 3:55 for you out on the West Coast. Flip over to the onboard here with John Simon. John kind of out all by his lonesome a little bit here. As a last time by the start-finish line, it was 1.6 seconds to Clint Pichon. Going to be a little bit more than that at this point. Next car back behind will be Evan Gold, and that is a gap of right about 6.5 seconds or so. So not much going on from John Simon's onboard, but we will enjoy the ride along with him here. And back to Patrick Howe. Wow, big slide for Howe.
Patrick's driving his heart out right now. You got a copy on me, Chris?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
All right, yeah, just a quick update here. You got David Holmes, whose first year with Spec Corvette was last year, and he's coming back hard for 2024. Running a great race here in front of now Donnie York, about 6 seconds behind him, and is Patrick Howe. I'm just watching Patrick Howe run the crap out of this car. I've never seen him drive this hard before and this well. He is absolutely hammering that car, putting it sideways, getting the back end loose, hammering the car out of the corners. Kudos to him to pushing this thing. This is the best he's run all year and the biggest position that he's had so far. Let's see if he can hold on for the rest of the race to get on podium spot.
About 90 seconds shy of putting that car up, or halfway to putting that car up on the podium. It's interesting, John, to watch. Oh, hold on to it! Oh, Howe goes for a spin!
No!
And unfortunately, he's got to clear the curbs and get it off onto the dirt to get himself spun back around. And now re-entering the racetrack can be incredibly dangerous. He's got to just wait for a clear gap to come through.
Oh, that's painful.
Finally gets a spot to rejoin the racetrack. And at this point, I guess you're picking up a ton of just junk onto these tires when you get off the racetrack like that. This is really a test of driver's skill now.
He's going to have a lot of work to do in order to get back into position here. He's certainly out of podium position at this point with a couple cars passing him. As they come around here, I'll take a look. So James Alasky, it looks like he's got 2 positions he's got to get back. So one of our newest drivers, James Alasky, is in P3. It looks like we got James Alasky in P3, Clint Pichon in P4, John Simon P5. Patrick was way back there, passed by nearly the entire field getting back onto the track.
Yeah, it's just absolutely heartbreaking for Patrick Howe getting that car.
He's got another chance to do it tomorrow.
Man alive, seeing cars getting off the racetrack all over the place here. So you'll see on the timing tower there, well, it just moved again on us, but 22nd position, David Holmes is your leader in the Spec Corvette Series race.
want to be in this race so bad. This is hard to watch. This is very difficult to watch. I want to be there right now.
That's one of those. Oh man, Patrick Howe really still having problems keeping that car on the racing surface. John, is that something where you can just push the car too hard, overheat the tires, and then you're kind of just dancing around on ice skates out there a little bit?
Yeah, it looks like he overheated the tires. Just really, like I said, when I saw him driving through the corners here, he was really pushing it hard. So he might have pushed it a little bit too hard, put two off, and then the back end comes around on him, and then you're done. And at that point, you've got dirt, you've got sand all over the tires. It's going to take you a couple laps to get your courage back and also get the tires cleaned off and the dust out of the car. So it's a pretty long recovery for him, but he's got a lot of work to do. But with James Alasky in third position now, you got Dave Holmes passing in first, Donnie in second, and I believe, yes, James Alasky's coming around here for third. That is a long, there he is, third position. And then, again, Quentin Sean, fourth. These guys are running well. James Alasky, very impressive run for him. Clean run so far. First race with Spec Corvette. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, that's not necessarily an easy thing coming from like a Spec 944 class. The Porsches and the Miatas and all that stuff, they do not drive like these Corvettes do. That is a big adjustment to have to make.
Absolutely, and we were discussing that today about the power difference and how to get the car to rotate. He was talking about the car understeering. So there's adjustments that I told him to start making that he needs to start doing to get the car to rotate a little bit better. So he's getting used to the power, he's getting used to the platform, and I think he's going to be a real contender here at some point.
Yeah, once you get the feet under your belt, that's get the first one through, and all of a sudden, man, you start to feel really, really confident in things until you have that incident. Then you don't feel so confident anymore.
Absolutely. I've been there, done that, and I try not to do that, but it happens more often than I like to admit.
So we're riding on board here with Patrick Howe as we are almost at the 20-minute mark in this race. 10 laps overall are in the books, 9 laps for your Spec Corvette class leaders. They will be the actual next cars to come around over the start-finish line.
Yep, I see David Holmes working through some traffic now. We've got the ST2 cars in front of him. We're actually running faster than some ST2 cars. You can see Donnie York coming up to an ST2 car. Coming around the corner here. There's Donnie coming around.
It's such a fantastic look from down low there. John, I know you want to be in the race car, but I appreciate you giving this the look from outside because the speed that they carry through that final corner is really pretty crazy. And then you have to it's a long right-hander, and then you have this kind of left-hand kink that you have to make to get back onto the start-finish straight. It's not an easy way to close out the lap.
And with the limited grip that these cars have, these guys have to work to get these cars to turn and grip. So we're doing well out here. And a lot of these cars that they're racing with, the other ST groups, don't realize we're on a 200 tread street power. 200 tread street power, they're running full aero and slick. So if you get passed by a Spec Corvette, you want to take a look at the tires that we're running.
That's right. Put a bold set of Nankangs on, that's for sure.
Yep, they're working great.
So while we have a moment here, let's cut on over and we'll go on board with John Simon for a couple of minutes here. Not as many onboards as we had last weekend at Sebring, but I'll tell you what, John, that's one of those deals that we're seeing the Sentinel package that is coming on board with the Spec Corvette series. That really is a game changer, and the more we're able to see your onboard, the more we're able to talk about your sponsors and showcase your car and your driving and all that stuff. It really makes a big difference for how we cover these races.
for me, the Sentinel system by James Camelera was an absolute game changer on the ease and picture. Looks like we got a red flag on track. We got a red flag on course here. That could be a problem. So we're stopping on track right now. Let's hope it's not too major of an incident here. We got red flag on track.
Yes, we're going to go on board here with Patrick Howe. I think his connection may be the most stable that we'll have here, as everybody's going to get pulled over to the side of the racetrack, and Patrick Howe getting well off the racing surface. But that's also something that the drivers are told to do here, John, where basically kind of get yourself out of the way and let whatever safety and recovery vehicles that have to get on the racetrack, let them get out there and work safely.
Yeah, this looks to be more of a major, whatever happened looks to be a little more major than just an off-track excursion for them to shut it down this quickly. I see, for Spec Corvettes, I see Dave Holmes, I see Donnie York, I see the group there. I see Clint Pichon, I see Evan Gold, I see John Simon. I'm looking for Robert Carroll, and he could be in the distance here. Hoping whatever it is that's going on, it's not a bad deal for anybody. So let's hope we get it cleaned up and everybody's okay.
Yeah, and at this point, they have checkered flag the session now as well. So that will be the end of the race here for the Spec Corvettes. So it will be an incident that will take a little bit more than just a quick cleanup to get these guys back going again. So it's going to wrap things up here then for the Spec Corvette Series, race number 1 of the weekend from Chuckwalla Valley Raceway. According to provisional timing and scoring, David Holmes will be your race winner, followed by Donnie York and James Zalaski picking up a podium in his first run with the series. Clint Pichon, John Simon, Evan Gold. Patrick Howe will be one of our final finishers, followed by Robert Carroll and Daniel Sepulveda. So with that, we are going to wrap up our coverage here. We will provide updates as necessary from what's going on out here at Chuckwalla Valley Raceway. But race 2 is scheduled for tomorrow, 3:55 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can catch it all right here on the National Racing Network. Big thank you to all of these sponsors of the Spec Corvette Series. We appreciate your support, and quite frankly, we're looking forward to seeing everybody back out here tomorrow. For John Wynn and everybody else here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, and we will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.